starts at 6. started. Okay, good evening, everyone. This is the Rowley Board of Selectmen meeting for December 6th, 2021. I'll call the meeting to order. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Will you please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this meeting is being audio and video recorded by Rowley Community Media. Okay, first item of business is to go into executive session. I'm going to call for a motion to go into executive session for the following purposes: to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with the Massachusetts Coalition of Police, MCOP Local 360, pursuant to GL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, as having a discussion in an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town, and to conduct collective bargaining session with MCOP pursuant to GL Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, and we're going to return to an open session. So someone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion's been made and second. Oh, we need a roll call vote.
Aye, Dave Peterson.
Aye, Joe Perry.
Hi, Robert Snow.
I, Cliff Pierce. We're in executive session.
see Joe, is it the Hicken died?
Okay, we're,
The Selectmen Zim is on the way.
oh, okay. Well, I think I can go through these things. right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we're resuming the meeting. First item on our agenda is under new business, update on the Triton District Communications Committee November meeting. The next DCC meeting is scheduled for January 27, and Rowley is hosting it. The DCC schedule of meetings are as follows. January 27, hosted by Rowley. February 17, hosted by Triton. March 17, hosted by Salisbury. April 28, hosted by Newbury. May 19, hosted by Rowley. Joe, do you have anything to add about the November meeting?
The November meeting was very interesting. We all met outside of the high school. And then they showed us about the different areas in the concrete, in the brickwork. And then they took us inside the school. I was amazed. I was amazed that I walked actually from the basement of the school, around the school, and all the way up to the top floor. But the effect of the water damage and the destruction to that building is incredible. It's going to take a lot of work. It truly is.
So they haven't made any decision. The superintendent has not decided, or the school committee have not decided what they're going to do, is that?
They are going to, I
Right.
believe, I could be wrong, I would have to check with Brian, to apply for
Right, okay,
some assistance, but they haven't committed to any.
okay. Any questions of Joe? Before we move on?
Can I just add something? I'm now the representative to the Alternative Assessment Committee for Triton. We met last week, and Salisbury was unable to attend, they were sick. But we had a good meeting, and basically we've given information that you guys, the previous committee, had gone through, so we're looking that all over. In the end of January, we're expecting to sit down and really talk about the issues and what's involved. I think the biggest thing coming up is going to be, even if we come up with an alternative assessment, each year, all three towns have to agree to the alternate assessment. And if all three towns don't agree, if one town disagrees, then we go back to the state formula. So it's not an easy just, oh, we're going to change the formula and make it work. It's a complicated system, and the school committee, before town meetings ever even get formed up, they have to come to each town, probably the selectmen and the finance committees, and say, do you guys agree with the alternative assessment? And they have to have something to show why that's better than the state. So I'm not sure it's ever going to go anywhere based on that.
Right.
But even if it does pass, each year the town does have to agree to it, and then the town meeting has to, not only the selectmen agree ahead of time, because they're only going to present one budget on the warrant, then the town meeting itself has to vote to approve. So it's a complicated process once you get involved in this. I can understand now why.
Couldn't we amend the agreement, all the three towns? Couldn't they amend the agreement to
No,
put in an alter?
yeah, we have to amend the agreement to say what the alternative assessment is.
Yeah,
But under state law, all three towns have to agree each year
Each
to
year.
that language in the agreement.
well,
And if we don't agree, then it goes back to the state assessment, which is also in the agreement. So it's a complicated process, and when I get enough information, I'll notify the board, and we can have a candid discussion
Now,
on.
but if all three towns agree,
Right.
Then the
can
alternative
do it.
assessment goes.
then what?
Then we can go with the alternative assessment. So it's gonna be interesting to see
Yeah.
what comes out of this, but it's not gonna be an easy process, for sure.
No,
I think Joe, you dealt with it last year, Joe.
Yeah.
You're aware of how complicated it really
Yeah.
is, so.
Oh, it is. And I also, on the committee, on the building, I forgot what the name of the committee is, that we own Pine Grove,
right,
and in the district, you know, if you take the building and shake it, and the building owns, the committee owns the parts inside. And the only thing that we discussed that came up was that right now, it's anything under $10,000 that would be covered. We should do it, go ahead with it, the school, and then if it's over 10,000, to bring it to the, for a vote. They're talking about raising that to 25.
Okay.
Inflation,
Yes,
yes.
Anything else?
it seems that you can't do much for,
Okay, thanks. All right, I'll move on to new business number 2, is a request from the Village Pancake House at 26 Main Street for a one-day liquor license. On February 26, 2022, Chief Dumas has approved this request. The application is attached. If the board votes to grant this request, they will need to sign the one-day liquor license at tonight's meeting.
I'll give you the motion, Mr.
I'll
Chairman.
second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Selectmen Ziv is on her way in right now.
Okay.
I just wanted to update the board.
Sounds like her now. Hello.
Hi, Dana.
Okay, well, next on the agenda is new business number 3, to approve the Teamsters Local 170 Fire Union Memorandum of Agreement. The fire union has approved the memorandum of agreement that changes the work schedule of full-time firefighters, so we get much better coverage, especially on weekends. The board needs a vote to approve and sign the MOA. So we had at a previous meeting, we were went through all the provisions, but since we had 2 members absent, I think we decided not to vote on it. So the formal vote will be tonight.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
do you mind if I read number 2 on the memorandum of agreement, just to let the taxpayers know exactly what the new schedule's going to be?
Okay, no,
In the agreement, which we're going to sign, I assume, it says effective on or after January 1st, 2022, firefighters will be assigned by the chief to 2 separate working groups consisting of 3 firefighters each. Each group shall work a repeating shift schedule of 4 consecutive days of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., followed by 4 consecutive days off, with the 2 groups assigned to alternating 4-day shifts blocks averaging out to 42 hours per week. So what that basically means is there'll be firefighter coverage at the station 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And with the increase we wanted with the last town meeting when we hired the additional firefighters, we were looking for additional hours, and this seems to give us, after a lot of bargaining between the board and the firefighters union, this is a schedule that seemed to be most effective and would give us the best fire department response. So just so people are aware of what we're actually
Yep.
voting on.
okay, thanks, Dave. All right, any further discussion? Have a motion to approve?
I make that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. New business number 4, award the Occupational Safety and Health Administration Workplace Health and Safety Plan Development Services Contract to AAA OSHA Training and Safety Consultants. We request a quotes from consultants to develop a workplace health and safety program for town building and departments as part of the town's OSHA compliance requirements. The scope of this work includes building safety inspections, creating written safety policies, compiling workplace health and safety plans, and reviewing lockout, tagout procedures, compiling safety data sheets, and creating an implementation plan. This project will help the town to comply with Massachusetts law, which requires the public sector workplaces comply with OSHA requirements. Consultant services are being funded by a community compact grant in the amount of $15,000 plus a $20,000 appropriation. The lowest quote was received from AAA OSHA Training and Safety Consultants of Winthrop. The base price is $3,400. The alternate one is a lockout tagout review, $1,750. Alternate 2, safety data sheets for $800. And alternate 3, implementation plan development of $75 an hour. So the total contract is for $5,950. Natalie spoke with the references for AAA. All these references provided very positive feedback. Debbie's requesting the board authorize her to contract with AAA for the base price plus all alternates, and to authorize staff to work with AAA to determine the number of hours necessary to complete alternate 3 based on the findings of the building audits and within the limitations of the grant funds and the town meeting appropriation.
I'll give you a motion for that, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
The motion to approve the contract has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Old business number 1 is discuss the status of the Class 2 dealer's license issued to Automotive Transport Service, Inc. of 60 Main Street. The previously issued Class 2 license issued to Automotive Transport Service at 60 Main Street designated the areas where the 13 used cars had to be parked in accordance with the 1995 Zoning Board of Appeals approved site plan. The Board of Selectmen, while approving the liquor license application for Anonymous Brewing, were made aware that a new site plan had been approved by the Rowley Planning Board for this property, which changed the parking areas designated for parking under the Class 2 license. Upon review and advice of Town Mullen, the town's attorneys, letters were sent to the applicant to invite him to submit an application for an amendment to his Class 2 license to reflect how the business is actually run now and will be run once the new site plan is implemented. On November 18, the applicant returned the original license issued to him and submitted a complete application for his amended license. The new application calls for a 10-car limit, reduced from the previous 13-car limit, but the new application requests outdoor parking for 7 cars and indoor parking for 3. The 3 indoor parking spaces would be in the same building shared by the brewery, and this space was previously used as a garage for car repairs. These 3 indoor parking spaces were not designated as parking spaces under the ZBA's prior decision. Town Planner Kirk Baker reviewed the applicant's request for parking spaces and agreed that the 7 outdoor spaces marked on the plan comply with the site plan. Regarding the indoor spaces, he said, "The only thing I would note that if he is proposing additional cars parked inside the building for display purposes, then that's outside the scope of the planning board's review." Chief Broderick reviewed the proposal for 3 indoor parking spaces. It said there is a new fire alarm system being installed as we speak, and it is confirmed there is a rated firewall between the 2 spaces, so the fire department is satisfied with the fire protection in the building. Building Inspector Ken Ward said 60 Main Street is grandfathered for auto sales and repair. The unit Bob is in has a firewall between the units that has the necessary fire protection systems as required by fire and building codes. It would be unreasonable to not allow cars for sale to be permitted to be allowed in the garage to be worked on. There was a follow-up discussion with the building inspector to ask if parking and storing used cars for sale in part of the building is an allowed use. rather than only permitting the used cars to be allowed into the garage to be worked on. The building inspector, it is okay for one of the 7 cars to be inside for a repair, but the repair shop is not considered for designated used car parking. Does the board wish to approve a Class II license with the requested 7 outdoor parking spaces only per the approved site plan without indoor parking? If so, does the board wish to waive the $200 application fee for this license? Since the license will only be valid for the month of December, the applicant will have to pay a $200 renewal fee for the license for calendar year 2022. So how does the board wish to proceed? Does the board wish to approve a 7-space license and waive the $200 application fee for the month of November? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve that, Mr. Chairman. I don't have any particular problem with it. It's reducing the number of cars in the lot, which is a plus as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Right. Okay,
That does eliminate the indoor.
they'll, according to Ken Ward, they'll be permitted to bring 1 car in to fix it if it, to be worked on. But other than that,
Mr. Chairman, we did make the inquiry to the building inspector to say, was this gonna be a showroom? Like, you go to
Yeah.
a car dealer, and he said no, it was just for the purpose of
Right.
repairing some of the used cars, in addition to other people just bringing cars in to be fixed as part of the automotive repair business.
right.
Yeah, I'll give you the motion to approve.
I'll
the 7
second.
cars.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, did that motion include the waiving of the fee? Was
Yeah.
that-
Is
Yes.
that- Okay, yep. Okay, old business number 2 rather, is to review disclosure by special municipal employee of financial interest in a municipal contract pursuant to state law, Chapter 268A, Section 20D, form filed by Sarah Bork. At a prior meeting, the board voted to contract with Marshwind Landscape, which is owned by Sarah Bork, for the landscaping phase of the Town Hall War Memorial Project. Because Sarah is also a town official, she is a member of the Historic District Commission / Historical Commission. The board asked her to contact the State Ethics Commission. The State Ethics Commission advised her to complete a disclosure by special municipal employee of financial interest in a municipal contract as required by state law. This form requires approval of the Board of Selectmen. Sarah has submitted the form. The board needs to review it to vote on, to approve the exemption, to authorize me to sign it on behalf of the board.
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Okay, old business number 3, review and discuss Division of Marine Fisheries certification of overwintering aquaculture license for the Great Marsh Shellfish Company and the issuance of an overwintering aquaculture license. The Division of Marine Fisheries has notified the board that it has certified the overwintering site for the Great Marsh Shellfish Company. The DMF says in the letter that the Board of Selectmen can now issue the overwintering aquaculture license for this area with the 7 conditions listed in their letter. Christian Pettypass of DMF told Debbie that the Selectmen need to make sure that they correctly list the latitude and longitude coordinates on the license. He also says that the Selectmen can include any other conditions the town may want to include. Debbie has reached out to the Shellfish Department, Harbor Master, Conservation Commission for comments and recommended town conditions. The Shellfish and Harbor Master Departments do not have any comments beyond what DMF is requesting. The COMCOM had a comment that the owner applicant shall, to the extent practical, and not in conflict with any other requirement on the proposed activity, require the placement of weatherproof identification tags with contact information on all cages or enclosures in order to identify the gear from this activity if it is separated and transported by storm or weather-related events, in order to facilitate return of cages or enclosures. We heard from Brendan Doyle, the principal of the Great Salt Marsh Company. He said, I discussed with DMF last night two issues. One, I request not to mark the buoys used for overwintering with a number different from my town-issued permit number. Of all my gear will be identified in one unique number. Second, the time period for moving gear out to and back from the overwintering should overlap enough to account for weather and other potential disruptions. I would like to request to be able to start using the overwintering area as soon as November 1 and be able to keep gear out there as late as the 15th of May. So on September 14, we issued a 10-year overwintering license to the Great Marsh Shellfish Company. Now with the DMF site certification, the board will need to vote to issue a replacement license that contains the following: the latitude and longitude of the overwintering site, the 7 DMF conditions, the Conservation Commission's condition, and any conditions the selectmen decide to include. Specifies the length of the license. The license terms can be up to 10 years. If the board is in agreement, the board will need to vote to issue a new overwintering aquaculture license to the Great Marsh Shellfish Company. One important note, the DMF points out in their letter that the Great Marsh site license is still subject to further regulation by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So this is the final license, that this will permit them to begin operation, is that right?
They actually have to go to the Army Corps of Engineers,
Oh.
I think, and maybe file under Massachusetts Environmental Policy Act. So there may be some other things, but that's kind of covered in some of these conditions
Yeah.
where the DMF says all other legal requirements.
But it should be the last act required of us, is that true?
Correct.
Any discussion? Can I have a motion to approve?
I give you a motion to approve with the suggested amendments.
Yep.
Second.
You had that part.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll second.
Oh, I had a question.
No.
All right, the motion to approve has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
So, Mr. Chairman, is the 10-year, do you want that to start effective from today or from the previous license? It's 10 years from today.
Today's fine with me.
Mr. Doyle, you're here. Have you started? You've already started putting the overwintering.
Yes, as of December 1st, so you're kind of moving out. The short season and the weather days are kind of limited right now.
I suggest we backdate it to November 1st. So
Yeah.
That's when he's,
So you want it,
November
that gives
1st?
him the month of November and December to do it. Yeah, just whatever we can do to cooperate with him, I think, is
Yeah.
what we want to do.
well,
You're welcome.
I think we had to, I don't think I can backdate this, but do you want it 10 years from today going forward as an expiration?
Yeah, all right, yeah, make it today, and our expectation is you've already started, and that's no problem.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
10
couldn't
years,
do it.
good.
Yeah, going forward from today, 10 years, right?
Until this was signed.
You're better off that way.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, good luck with your enterprise there.
Yeah, it's been a long process, hasn't it?
Yeah, really.
Good. Seems like we talked about it forever.
Been going good so far. I got the first crop planted, so
Oh, really?
Oh, good.
we're growing. Maybe in 2 years we'll have a market crop.
You know, it's funny, I've seen a number of news, national news as well as local news talking about, not your project in particular, but that the use of aquaculture for these animals and the fact that they clean the water and cleanse the ocean water and provide a good business. So congratulations and good luck.
Very healthy food source too.
Good luck.
We'll be enjoying some soon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, we got some liquor license renewals. I'm going to read each entity that's up for renewal. And hopefully we can vote on all of them together, unless someone has an issue with any one of them. Rowley Veterans Association, Inc., of 19 Bradford Street. 255 Newburyport Turnpike, Rowley LLC, Blue Boat. 255 Newburyport Turnpike. Nippon Tapataganan, TJ Thai, Inc., DBA Royal Orchid, 303B Haverhill Street. The Great American Barbecue, DBA The American Barbecue, 5 Railroad Ave. Pymar, Inc., DBA Off the Vine, 150 Newburyport Turnpike. Cabales, Inc., DBA El Tapadio, 300 Newburyport Turnpike. B&R Rowley LLC, DBA Bradford Tavern, 87 Haverhill Street. Galbro, Inc., DBA Route 1 Liquors, 174 Newburyport Turnpike. Rowley Liquors, DBA Rowley Liquors, 144 Newburyport Turnpike. Grape Island, Inc., DBA Mill River Winery, 498 Newburyport Turnpike. Rowley Enterprise, Inc., DBA Skips Country Store, 801 Haverhill Street. Andy Sunny, Inc., DBA Rowley Convenience Smoke Shop, 21 Main Street. Briar Barn Inn, LLC, DBA Briar Barn Inn at 101 Main Street. Anonymous Brewing, LLC, DBA Anonymous Brewing at 60 Main Street. Is there any reason why we can't renew the license as a group? Okay, so I'll ask for a motion to approve those licenses, the renewals.
I'll give you a motion to approve those for renewal.
Okay, thank you. Any second?
Second.
Was there a problem with skips, or that been resolved?
It's been resolved.
Resolved, okay,
Yeah, it's at 3 o'clock.
okay.
We're resolved at 3.
Yes, that was resolved.
Okay.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
well,
we didn't have
I'll give
a
a
second.
second.
Okay, the motion to renew the licenses has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Okay. We have the minutes of November 22 up for approval.
Give you a motion for November 22nd, 2021.
May I have a second?
Give me a
Second.
motion.
The motion to approve the minutes of November 22 has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
I'll abstain, I was absent.
I'm going to abstain as well.
Passes with 2 abstentions. We have one announcement. The Town of Rowley Tax Title Public Auction will be held Friday, December 17, 2021, at 12 p.m. at the Town Hall. 6 properties will be auctioned. For more information, please go to zicosgroup.com or call Zicos Group Auctioneers at 508-842-9000. Okay, we went a little too fast. We got 10 minutes to kill before our appointment with the Board of Assessors.
That's what I'm saying.
Does he want to take a recess or can have public info, public comment?
Oh, yes, we have a public comment period. I forgot that. Anybody want to make a public comment?
Can I make a recommendation, we recess for 10 minutes until
Okay.
7:10?
All right, we'll recess.
Give me that motion. Need a motion to
I don't-
recess?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, second, yeah, we'll make a motion. What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. The motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
Bob Snow, recess.
It was Bob Snow and Dave seconded.
just running around. We shall miss.
Annual tax classification hearing. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm going to call the joint meeting to order by calling for a motion to open the joint meeting by a roll call vote.
Give me a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Any seconds?
Second.
Okay, we need a roll call vote.
Hi, Dave Peterson.
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Hi, Cliff Pierce.
I, Dina Zev.
Okay.
I make a motion for a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen by order of a roll call vote.
I second that motion.
I, Diane D'Angeli.
I, Donald Thurston.
I, Jamie Snow.
Okay, next I'm going to read the tax classification hearing notice into the record. Tax classification hearing. Notice hereby given that the Board of Selectmen and the Raleigh Board of Assessors shall meet jointly on Monday, December 6, 2021, at 7:15 p.m. at Town Hall, 139 Main Street, Route 1A, Raleigh, Mass., to determine what tax classification rates there shall be for residential, open space, commercial, industrial, and personal property for fiscal year 2022. The public is invited to attend this meeting. This notice was published on November 24 in the edition of the Newburyport Daily News. Okay, next, once the joint meeting of both boards is open, I'm going to call for a motion by the board to open the tax classification hearing by a roll call vote. Do you have a motion to open the tax classification hearing?
I give you that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Now we need a roll call vote.
Hi, Dave Peterson.
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Aye, Cliff Pierce.
I, Dina Zev.
I make a motion to open the tax classification hearing by a roll call vote of the Board of Assessors with the Board of Selectmen.
I second that motion.
I, Diane D'Angeli.
I, Donald Thurston.
I, Jamie Snow.
Okay, now I'm going to request that the Board of Assessors make a presentation on the classification of the tax rates and a recommendation for fiscal year 2022.
Okay, at this time, we're recommending to the Selectmen to keep a factor of 1, which would keep a flat rate. The Board of Assessors voted on this unanimously earlier this evening at the meeting downstairs. Sean will now do a presentation for all of you.
Hello.
Hi, Sean.
So I always use the same format as you have in the handout. As everyone knows, the real estate market is really hot everywhere. And this Raleigh is no different. It is all over the place. The prices are insane, as anyone knows who's been trying to buy a house. So we did see an increase in the average single-family home. So last year, the average single-family home was at $482, and this year it increased to $430,000. And so it's almost a $48,000 increase in 1 year. And that was all based on the 2020 sales. Not 2021, not 2019, but we had to use 2020 because it was a revaluation year, and we had enough sales of single family in which to do that. We looked at all classes of property this year, and all classes, single family on average went up 10%, but so did all classes of property. And that's why the rate dropped, but everybody is seeing an increase. The only difference is, there's some people who are going down. If your valuation increased 6% or less, your taxes are staying the same or going down. But the average was 10%. And so there are people who are seeing increases. A third of the town is seeing within the average amount. But there are people above, are people below. But it's just been that type of market. And that's why this year I included the sales of the houses from $1.9 million, 8 and 7, so you can understand the difference in 3 years of how the town has changed. I mean, the telling number is the 2018. I mean, it's the $800,000, I should say, I'm sorry. The $800,000, where 3 years ago, in 2019, we had 3 sales, 2020 we had 3, and this year we had 16. So anything that was selling for $600,000 in 2019 is now $800,000.
Well,
And it's only higher now in 2021.
Wow.
It's really unfortunate. It used to be you couldn't get into town for less than 300. Now I think it's more like 500. It's getting unreachable.
Yeah,
But it's beyond our control. It's happening everywhere.
well, yeah.
So we did have substantial growth. We had 20 million in growth. 12 million of that was the Falcon Ridge subdivision.
Oh.
And we had some new development. Ipswich Bay Glass has partially finished one of their buildings over on Forest Ridge. Coughlin is building great buildings, and he's progressing and finishing those. So we've had that. There are other things coming down the road, but it's just taking time. There's a lot of talk of different things that may come up in the future. The Herrick's created 5 new lots. I expect houses to be started over there at some point. And we have the 49 houses over on Falcon Ridge, 16 of which are already started. And by the time we're talking next year, I'm expecting probably 25. They're moving pretty fast over there. And we've already had 1 sale, and that was $850,000. So we have another $800,000 sale this year. And I expect 1 or 2 more over $1 million sales to go through.
So 12 million was from Falcon Ridge?
Falcon Ridge, the land,
Now, how many-
49 lots.
Oh, is that all the lots or just some?
That's all the lots,
Oh, is it? Okay.
all 49. Okay, so that's where we are there. And then, as I always do with the shifting, and that's why the assessors are recommending a flat rate, because you can see on the handout with the classifications, the impact it would have by changing 5, 10, 15, 25, or 50%. And as I always say, I think if we get to 25% commercial, that might be worth looking into shifting.
Right.
But the fact everything went up this year, there was a slight shift more on the residential, but it was 86% last year.
Yeah.
So it all went up, but it all shifted similar. And so I don't think it's enough. We can hit 10%. I just think the impact on the businesses would be too severe.
Yeah. Right now, it's the commercial stands at 13.77%, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying you would like to see it at 25%?
I think 25% is worthwhile. We have really great businesses in town, and I'd hate to have a shift happen and then force them to, some of them wouldn't leave, but to force them to
Yeah.
not expand. We've been very lucky with Ipswich Bay Glass. They build great buildings, they have great people. John Coughlin, they're doing a great job over there. They're building new buildings, and they're doing a lot of great work.
Right.
And we've had multiple vacant lot sales on Route 1. Tony Annis bought the lot next to him that was possibly going to be Verdant Medical. So that may be something in the future. And the old Northeast Stone, that was sold for over $1 million last year. So there are sales. And so they have all seen increases, all the commercial industrial.
Any other questions from the board? Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. It's kind of all over the place this year, but there's no really good way to explain it because that's how the market's been.
Right. Bernie?
We had two projects happen this year. We had a revaluation, that is complete. We had certified values. Second project we had was every 10 years, they want us to do a data collection, and that is just verifying the information on file. That is being done over 2 years. We did 2/3 of the town this year. 1,500 properties were measured, photographed, the information is checked, and we're doing the final 700 next year. That's an independent, that's not a revaluation. That's just verifying the data on file to make sure the data's good. We have to do that, we're mandated to. We were supposed to start in 2020, but then we were forced to delay it a year, but the state wanted us to do 2/3 this year. So it's a lot of work, we've had a lot of work going on this year. But the reval's totally independent. That's based on sales, analyzing the sales. We adjust every year with an interim, but this year, every 5 years, you're mandated to do a reval that the state analyzes and checks everything, and we just finished that process last Thursday.
So on the bidding system, values that are in there for the set values of the properties for fiscal year 21?
No.
New values or?
If you look right now, they're updated. We only got final certification last Thursday. It takes a little bit of time to update. What was on there was the new assessment, but I couldn't do a final save because we didn't receive final certification. When we did on last Thursday, the database was updated this morning. So those assessments that were there for the past 2 weeks were the 2022 because they had to be there for public disclosure. There was a big note that said, these are the 2022 assessments. That's what that meant. And now they're all updated if you look.
So those are the assessments that are used?
Yeah.
in this?
Yeah, exactly, they're right there.
Okay, I was supposed to ask if any audience members have any questions, but that was implied, I think. All right. I guess that's the conclusion of the public hearing discussion, unless someone has something further. I'll call for a motion of the Board of Selectmen to close the public hearing by a roll call vote.
Give me that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Now we need a roll call vote.
Aye, Dave Peterson.
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Aye, Cliff Pierce.
I, Gina Ziv.
I make a motion to close the public hearing for the Board of Assessors on a roll call vote.
I'll second that motion.
I, Diane D'Angeli.
I, Donald Thurston.
I, Jamie Snow.
Okay, that's closing the hearing. Now, call for a discussion on the tax classification rates by the selectmen and assessors.
I would recommend, Mr. Chairman, that we maintain the 1-to-1 ratio.
Yep. Okay, any disagreement with that?
I recommend that too.
Okay.
I recommend that also.
And so do I. Now we need a motion by the Board of Selectmen on the determination of classification of rates for residential, open space, commercial, industrial, and personal property for the fiscal year 2022 by a roll call vote. So the motion would be to maintain the 1-to-1.
I'll make that motion to maintain the 1-to-1.
I'll second.
The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? We need a roll call vote, sorry.
Roll call.
Oh, aye, Dave Peterson.
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Aye, Cliff Pierce.
I, Gina Ziv.
I make a motion for the Board of Assessors to keep the factor at 1 for the determination of classification rates for residential, open space, commercial, industrial, and personal property for fiscal year 22 by a roll call vote.
I second that motion.
I, Diane D'Angeli.
I, Donald Thurston.
I, Jamie Snow.
Okay, I'll now call for a motion to close the joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen, the Board of Assessors by a roll call vote.
I give you that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion, we need a roll call vote now.
Aye, Dave Peterson.
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Aye, Cliff Pierce.
I, Gina Ziv.
I make a motion to close the joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Assessors on a roll call vote.
I'll second that motion.
I, Diane D'Angeli.
I, Donald Thurston.
I, Jamie Snow.
Okay, the joint meeting is closed. Thanks for coming tonight, and thanks for all of your hard work. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're done, except for a motion to adjourn.
Give me that motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion passes. We are adjourned.
You have to sign.